Ooh, new keyboard. Hey everyone, so today I'm taking a look at the Keychron K1. This is the V4, so there are several versions before this. This is the 4th version. Now, before I begin, basically I'm not much of a mechanical keyboard person. This is the first mechanical keyboard I bought and own. I'm more of like a flat, slim profile kind of person, so these are the kind of keyboards that I've been using. So this is the Apple wireless keyboard. Very thin, very low profile, so that's the kind of stuff I'm used to. I've also been using a Microsoft Designer keyboard, again, also very flat, chiclet style kind of keyboard. So this is kind of like the views and perspectives from someone that doesn't normally use mechanical keyboards. So this is it. This is the Keychron K1, so let's take a deeper look. Alright, so first up, let's take a tour around the keyboard. This is an aluminium or like a metal base, so this is all metal here, and the top here is also metal. The keys obviously are plastic, they're on the top here, and this is the RGB version, so there are lights underneath each key there, and it does light up when you power it on. I like how it's like a semi-chiclet style keyboard. The keys are raised and they're kind of low profile as well. They do have that concave kind of shape on the keys, so it does like fit your finger, I guess, when you hit the keys, which is nice as well. The escape button is this bright orange, which I really like. Now this keyboard does have a USB-C port, which is a great big tick for me because USB-C everything. And it also comes with Bluetooth. So if you switch this on, so right now it's in cable mode, if you flip it all the way to Bluetooth, the keyboard comes to life, and then it will start connecting to the first device. So I've already paired the first one here to my Mac, and the keyboard actually supports 3 Bluetooth devices. So up here you see there's this Bluetooth symbol underneath 1, 2, and 3. So you can actually press the FN button in combination with 2 and 3 to actually switch between different Bluetooth devices. So you can pair this with up to 3 devices at the same time. Well, you can switch between them, which is pretty cool. If you don't like Bluetooth, it does have the ability to connect via a cable. So this USB-C port at the top there is not just for charging, you can actually use it in cabled mode or wired mode. So I have a USB-C cable here. If you plug it in, as soon as you do so, it powers on, and it's actually also charging the keyboard up there as well. So that's the charging indicator. So now it's connected to the computer via a cable, and you can use it this way as well. So apart from the charging indicator at the top there, there's also a caps lock indicator, which is just above the charging LED. So if you tap the caps lock button, that light turns on. So it doesn't show on the key itself, which would have been nice, but yeah, the caps lock indicator is up in the top left corner there. Okay, next let's take a tour of the bottom of the keyboard. Now on the bottom is this flat metal surface with 4 rubber feet. Now they don't have any extra feet up here that you can, flip up to raise the keyboard or anything. Basically, it's like a fixed angle that you have to put the keyboard on. So when you lay it flat, it's kind of like that. And the kind of angle you're getting is about, I don't know how many degrees is that, but it's basically a fixed angle. So if you need a keyboard that raises, this is not the one to get. So another cool thing about this keyboard is that it's compatible with Mac and Windows. So what does that mean? Well, basically it comes with additional keycaps, so you can actually swap them around. So I believe this is the Windows key for the keyboard, and you can replace the command key here with a Windows key so that it better suits the Windows operating environment. And I believe on a Windows keyboard, the option and the command key are flipped around as well. So if I grab the Microsoft keyboard here, you'll notice that there's no option, but there's an Alt button here next to the spacebar, and then there's the Windows button here. So you can have the option of actually changing these keycaps to suit the operating system that you're using your keyboard with. Also, if you don't like the orange escape key, it comes with a grey one as well. And it also has an orange light button as well. So the light button up the top right here, if you tap that, basically it will just change the different lighting styles for your keyboard. So on the topic of the light, since we're at this point now, tapping this obviously will change the different styles. So the default is this kind of wave pattern where it goes from RGB across the length of the keyboard. There are so many patterns, I don't think I can go through all of them, but each time you tap it, you get a different style here. So I think this one is when you press the key, it'll do like a kind of like a line kind of pattern. It's best if you check out the website for all the different patterns they have, because there are quite a few different patterns here. Now, the one thing I noticed is if you're tossing between a pure white keyboard and one with the RGB lighting, I would say go for the one with the RGB, because you can actually change the color of the lights to white if you want. So on this kind of rainbow effect here, if we hold FN and then use the arrow keys, you can actually change it to white. So now the keyboard is in white mode. So if you do the same thing here, whatever pattern you choose, you can switch it to the white version. Or if you keep tapping it, you can choose a dedicated color as well. So you can cycle through, pink or red, blue, green, magenta, and so on. So if you are tossing between RGB and white and you're not sure which one you want, go for the RGB one, because you have the option of changing to white later anyway. If you don't like the crazy patterns, you can actually switch it to a mode where basically it's just backlight on the whole time. So I have it on white here, but if you change the color here, you can make it fully pink and it will just stay, pink the whole time, or blue, or green here, orange, yellow, whatever these colors are. So you can, keep it in this kind of state where it doesn't go crazy when you type on it and doesn't move. So there you go. Okay, so apart from changing the lighting effects using this button up here, you can actually change the brightness of the keyboard as well. So this is max brightness, and I'm currently in the middle of the day here, about like 1 p.m. And it's quite bright, and as you can see, the backlight is plenty bright enough to show in a brightly lit room. But if it's too bright, you can dim it by pressing F5 here, so that each time you press it, it just goes down a little bit, and then eventually it just turns off entirely. If you want to turn it back on, it's just F6. So if you press F6, it lights up, and this is basically the max brightness, which is the level it comes at. Okay, so let's talk specs for a minute here. Now it says here that it's got low profile switches, which are 48% thinner than other low profile mechanical keyboards. So it says it's the world's thinnest mechanical keyboard, so that's pretty cool. It has the dual compatibility, which we talked about. Now, battery life is probably the thing that most people care about here. It says that battery life is up to 2 weeks when you have the backlight disabled. So it has a 2000 milliamp battery. I like how it's rechargeable, so you don't have to buy AAA, AA batteries and replace them. You can just plug it into the computer and charge it that way. And of course, aluminum body, and it says over 15 different lighting effects. So that's kind of the specs for you there. So when you buy this keyboard on their website, you have a choice of different switches. So the one I have are the red ones. So these are low profile, I think they're called Gateron or Gateron, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But the red ones here are considered quiet. So since it's my first mechanical keyboard, I'm used to the quiet, kind of soundless chiclet style keyboard. So I went for the quiet one. So as you see inside, they look red. The other options are blue and brown. Now the blue ones are supposed to be more clicky, whereas the brown ones are more tactile, and the sound is gentle for the brown ones, but these ones are classified as quiet. So let's do a quick typing test so you guys can hear what this sounds like. As a first-time mechanical keyboard user, I was concerned that these key switches would be too loud, so I think other people may have the same concern. So let's do a quick sound comparison between what I call regular keyboards, or this like chiclet style Mac keyboard, and so that you can make up your mind whether or not these switches are too loud for you or not. let's also compare the Microsoft Designer keyboard as well while we're here. Okay, so when configuring this keyboard, besides the switches, you can also choose the layout. So the one I have here is the 87 key, or some people call it the TKL, or the 10 keyless style keyboard. So it's a bit smaller, and the reason why it's called 10 keyless is because, well, there's no numpad, so it's missing the 10 keys, which is why it's, 10 keyless. So this is the 87 key one. If you get the 104 key one, that will have basically an extra numpad on the side here, and your keyboard is a bit bigger. So it's up to you. If you want like a minimalistic look for your table like this, then you can go for the smaller 87 key one. Otherwise, if you do a lot of spreadsheets and the numpad is very important for you, then yes, by all means, go grab the one with the numpad. So I've used this keyboard for a little while now, and I've noticed several things. The first thing is obviously the key travel, there's a lot more. I feel like I'm a more accurate typer on this Keychron K1 compared to the chiclet style MacBook keyboard that we got here. And the next thing I noticed was, if you are a Mac user, you'll find that on Mac keyboards, the spacebar is generally quite short. And the C and the Command key is, kind of like at corners to each other. So the C is there and the Command key is there. Because the Command key is like your main kind of control key, right? If you want to copy something, it's Command C. If you want to paste, it's Command V. Now, if you take a look at the Keychron one here, now they obviously designed this to be interchangeable between Mac and Windows. And maybe that's the reason why, but the spacebar is a bit longer. And as a result, the C and the Command key are further apart. So on a Mac keyboard, the Command key is probably around this area. So that means you kind of have to do like thumb gymnastics a little bit. So when you're trying to press Command C, your thumb has to kind of tuck underneath your hand to be able to hit the Command button. Not a big deal, you definitely get used to it, but it's slightly less comfortable than using like a pure Apple designed Mac keyboard. Now the next thing I noticed is the actual angle and thickness of this keyboard. Now I'm kind of used to this low profile keyboard here, which as you can see on the bottom edge, it's almost down to the table. Whereas this one, it's almost kind of a consistent kind of height along the keyboard, even though it does kind of slope down a little bit, but the difference is not as dramatic as this one. So if you look at the top row here, there's almost like a centimeter height, whereas down here it's like kind of like 5 millimeters. Whereas here it's almost like about 1.5 centimeters high, and then this is almost 2 centimeters up over here on the escape button. So that can mean that your wrists kind of have to raise up a little bit when you're using the Keychron. Whereas on the lower profile Apple one here, and even the Microsoft Designer keyboard on the right here, it feels like your wrist can almost rest closer to flat. And depending on how you like to type, it may cause some wrist strain. You can probably get like a wrist pad for this higher keyboard. I know it's supposed to be the thinnest one already, but it might just be me not getting used to the higher height of the keyboard. Alright, so some final thoughts on the Keychron K1 version 4. Firstly, I think it's very well priced. It's only $69 for the white backlight one. This one in my hand is $79 because it's the RGB one. But of course, if you get the larger one, then it's a bit more expensive. I think it's very well priced, and the specs or the features it's got is quite amazing. It's got Bluetooth, it's got wired connection, it supports Mac and Windows, and you can save up to 3 devices on the keyboard as well. Additionally, it comes with different keycaps. So if you don't like the orange escape button, for example, you can swap it out for a gray one. If you like to use a Windows machine, you can swap the Command key for a Windows button. So yeah, I think this is very well priced and very well built keyboard. So if you are in the market for a mechanical keyboard, and if you are like me and you're thinking about switching from a regular keyboard to a mechanical one, trying to dive into the world of mechanical keyboards, I think this is a pretty good starter keyboard. So I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.